what is going on with Teofimo Lopez? And I'm not talking about all the remarks he's made and all the things he's posted. Well, granted, some of the things he has posted. I'm talking about his opponents. Because just recently, about 2 weeks ago, it was said by Eddie Hearn himself, that you can check my channel. I have the clip of Eddie Hearn saying, hey, right now we are in negotiations for Boots Ennis versus Teofimo Lopez.
We're in negotiations for Jaron to fight Teofimo. And it's a hell of a fight.
Teo would be coming up from 140 to 147 to take on Boots. That looked like that fight was really on its way to potentially happening around August, as it seemed like Eddie Hearn was extremely confident. He was sounding like, hey, I want this to happen. Turki called into the Shakur Stevenson, the Ring 3 press conference, saying, I'm trying to make Teo versus Boots. It looked like everything was headed that direction. Now, all of a sudden, it's changed. And it's changed for another opponent, but that fight also looks like it's up in the air. So what is going on with Teofimo Lopez? First, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the Never Drop podcast. Comment below who you want to see Teo fight next. As Teo, you can say a lot of things about Teofimo Lopez. He's been, at times, one of the best in the sport, and other times he's looked like, who is this guy? How was he one of the best in the sport? He had a great performance against Arnold Barboza, really good performances. He had back-to-back really lackluster performances. Is he somebody who fights up to the competition, apparently? When he fights the lower-level fighters, he has not been himself. He has not been the best Teofimo Lopez out there. But all of that being said, he wants to fight the top guys. So he was talking about fighting Jaron Boots Ennis, which in my opinion would be a grave mistake. I think Boots would absolutely slaughter him. To be completely honest, I think Boots is a heavy 147-pounder, while Teofimo is a light 140. Like, he hasn't shown any of the same power at 140 as he had at 135. To go up to 47 for Boots, I think it would look like a man against a boy in that ring, as I think he'd demolish Teofimo Lopez. And I respect Teofimo wanting to go up, and a lot of people say Teo might win that fight. Just in my opinion, I think Boots washes Teofimo Lopez at 147. I think Boots is on another level right now, and props to Teo trying to make that fight, but it looks like that fight isn't going to happen. One thing Eddie Hearn was saying when he was talking about the fight is, hey, I'm going to get on a call with Boots Ennis, obviously Boots' father and trainer, and Boots, and talk about this potential fight. So it might have been at that moment Eddie and Turki were like, oh, this is going to be a good fight, and Boots was like, no, I don't want to fight. And while some people might be, oh, he's ducking, all these things, it might be because either Boots, again, he only wants to fight for belts at 47. So either looking for a belt holder at 47, even though the belt holders are kind of tied up right now between Norman Jr. and Barrios, or he's finally going to make that move to 154, which I want to see. I don't even want Boots to entertain 47 anymore. I want him to go to 54. Okay, so that kind of ties a bow what seemingly was going to be on Boots, right? So just about a week ago, maybe a little bit more, Devin Haney had tweeted something saying, at Turki, I'm sick of Teofimo and his racist remarks. Let me put an end to this, right? It was like, oh, okay, Devin, well, kind of looks like you're a little late. Looks like he's in, talks for a fight. Might be a little late. Honestly, that wasn't the case. Dan Raphael just talked about and just tweeted and kind of confirmed that, hey, these two were in talks, agreed to a fight just as soon as last night, May 27th, but we don't know if the fight's going to happen because of Teofimo Lopez's tweets. If you didn't see these tweets, he went at Turki Al-Sheikh. I have them right here for you. Turki responded, kind of a subtle message. I don't need to respond. I'm sure he's not responding, all these different things. But he went straight at Turki Al-Sheikh. It's funny, he's kind of flip-flopped there. You can go back on his Twitter. Just a few days before that, he was saying, Turki, thank you for making boxing great. I want to do all these things with you. So he's really going against Turki Al-Sheikh. And this isn't the first time we've seen Teofimo Lopez do this. He had an Instagram comment before the May 2nd, the New York City Times Square card, like saying, hey, this hasn't been promoted properly. He deleted the comment and came back with like a PR statement, PR comment type statement, like, oh, this is awesome. Turki's a great thing for the sport. Everything is, good. Kind of seemingly like, hey, if you say this, you better delete that and say this, right? So this isn't the first time Teo is kind of taking shots at Turki and Riyadh season and all these different entities with him. Now he's just going straight for the haymaker. So what is this going to happen? Because, of course, that fight was going to be with Turki, right? This was going to be Turki setting up Devin versus Teo. Who's going to be the man that apologizes? And honestly, I mean, Turki has nothing to apologize. Teo's the one that was saying these things to him. So is Teo going to say, hey, I'm going to apologize to him because my two big options, Boots, not happening, Devin Haney, it's right there. You got both agreed to the state. You both agreed to the fight. Are you going to say, all right, for the better of business and my career, I'm going to man up, I'm going to say sorry, and let's do this fight? Or is Teo going to keep doing his thing? He's been saying, I'm homeless, woo-de-woo, I don't have a job, all these different things on Twitter. Like, he does these things, and it's the same with his racist remarks and everything. It's just like, why? You've shown you can be a grade A boxer in the sport, and you just resort to these stupid, belittling, racist, different things to try and grab attention and, trying to get people content-wise, all these different things. It's like, come on, man. Like, after a good performance against Arnold Barboza, you won the night. Out of all the fighters, you won the night. You and Rolly Romero won the night May 2nd. And you still got to do these really corny things to try and get people interested. It doesn't look good. But I want to talk about Teo versus Devin real quick. I think it's a fight really good. We've been wanting to see them fight for a while. Now, even 35, 40, I believe the catch weight was going to be 45. They could go to 47, but hey, if it's 45, it's 45, right? We've been wanting to see them fight for a while now. I think this would be a really good fight and a fight for both. Hey, both fighters, to a degree, have their backs against the wall, and it's a must-win fight for both fighters. You got to think for Teo, of course, not only doing all these different things on Twitter, everything, you got to win. Like, you want to stay in the spotlight, you got to win, because once you lose, all right, what's the use for you? We don't need you. We'll just freeze you out of different things. For Teo, he's shown, again, he can beat these top-level guys and put on great performances, but he can also look like, geez, man, who is this guy? This isn't who we thought, So, different things like that. Teo, it's a big fight. But for Devin Haney, his back is against the wall because, look at his situation. He's lucky Ryan Garcia lost in that main event. Otherwise, he would have been the biggest loser of the night. And still, he's caught in a lot of flack, and rightfully so, because he did not perform great on May 2nd. But his big ticket fight was the Ryan Garcia rematch, right? Other than that, his brand value has not been great. So Ryan Garcia loses. That loses Devin Haney's opportunity for a huge fight. What's a huge fight that Devin Haney could fight right now and sell out all these different things? It was only the Ryan Garcia rematch, which now is pointless because both guys didn't look good and Ryan Garcia lost. So to get this fight with Teofimo Lopez, a fight that, hey, you know what? I'll take that any day of the week. I think that'll be really good. Yes, that for Devin Haney is huge. Even if he looked bad, okay, you can say that was just first fight back, rusty, ring rust, all these different things. You go in, you beat Teofimo Lopez, who had one of his better performances of recent years. All right, you're back. Devin Haney, you're back. But if you're Devin Haney, what would be next? Your stock has plummeted all the way to the bottom if you lose. So I think it's a great fight between two fighters we want to see fight and that need to win. Like, people talked about, these guys just aren't in it for the sport, or like, they're getting all this money. They don't have the hunger anymore. I think both fighters are going to have the hunger and more, because they lose their career, really, that trajectory is not going to go up too much higher. I mean, it's a must-win fight for both of these fighters, to say the least. Let me know in the comments. So hopefully this fight does happen. Hopefully Teo can kind of man up and apologize, and him and Turki can settle out their differences. I don't know what exactly their differences are, but hopefully they can settle out their differences and make this fight, because this is a fight I really do want to see. Let me know in the comment below if you would like this fight, or if you would like to see Teofimo Lopez fight someone else. Would you want to see him go up to 47 and fight Jaron Boots Ennis more than you'd like to see him fight Devin Haney? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the Never Drop Podcast. I got all your boxing news right here. That's all I got for you today. Peace. I'm out.